Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm excited to show you our favorite toddler books for self-regulation. So these are books that will help your child learn about different emotions and learn to express how they feel using words, but also learn different positive coping mechanisms that they can use when they're having those really big emotions. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Soraya. I'm a mother of two beautiful children. Here on this channel, I talk about mindful parenting, children empowerment, and social-emotional learning. So if these are topics you're interested in, I would love for you to subscribe. Please make sure you hit that notification bell so that you never miss one of my videos. So without further ado, let's get started. And I've made quite a few videos on this channel about social-emotional learning and how to teach a very young child how to regulate their emotions, how to, self-control and stop themselves from doing something they shouldn't do, and to teach them a positive coping mechanism that they can use when they're having those big intense emotions. So if this is something you're interested in, I will link in the description box below my playlist where you can see all of my videos on this topic, including, a video with where I show you our self-regulation corner, a video with activities that you can do with your toddler to teach them self-regulation. So make sure you go and check out this playlist because there's loads of really good tips and activities that you can do with your child. So let's get started, and the first book that I want to show you is one that we have loved and that is accessible for even very young child. So I started reading that book with my toddler when she was only 2 years old, and she was already benefiting a lot from reading it, and now that she's 3.5 and she's in preschool, we still read that book all of the time, and I feel like every time we read that book she takes in a little bit more. So I highly recommend it. And it's this book called Calm Down Time by Elizabeth Verdick. Elizabeth Verdick is one of my favorite children's book author when it comes to social-emotional learning and regulating emotions. I love her approach. I love how she, I feel like she really uses the right word to explain these ideas to very young children, and has really good little tips for children in her book. I also love that in this book, on the last 2 pages, these pages are dedicated to the parent or the caregiver to give them tips on how to manage, toddler tantrums and how to handle it when children are going through these intense emotions. But this book basically shows children different ways that they can manage their emotions and how they can do, what they can do to take care of themselves during those moments. So I really love this book. I really recommend it. My toddler really likes it as well. So this is a great book to get started. If you only get one book, get this one. The next book that I want to show you is all about learning to name the feelings that we're going through and the big emotions that we may be feeling. I'm showing it to you in French, but it exists in English, so I'm gonna link it in English in the description box below. But we are a bilingual family, and so a lot of the books that we have are in French. And so this is the Color Monster. This one is the pop-up version. There's also a version that is just a regular board book if you would want, but we've been really enjoying the pop-up version of this, as you can probably imagine, although it can be a little bit hard sometimes to get my toddler to not destroy that book, but somehow I've managed to keep it in one piece. But this is a great book to learn about all of the different kinds of emotions that we might be going through. It goes through the basic emotions like sadness, anger, fear, joy, and serenity, I believe. And so it's a great book. I really recommend having a book in your collection that helps your child to get the vocabulary that they need in order to be able to express their emotion. So learning how to name their emotions and to say how they feel is really important, and that's really the first step to learning how to self-regulate. So I highly recommend getting a book like this. This is the one that we've been using and we've been loving it. The next book I want to show you is also one that my toddler loves and that we have really enjoyed reading together, and it's Little Monkey Calms Down by Michael Dahl. Michael Dahl is also one of my favorite children's book authors when it comes to managing different sort of behavior. I've made a whole video here on this channel about, you know, books that you can use for specific behaviors, you know, like hitting, biting, yelling. So I showed my favorite books for each one of those different behaviors. So this is something, if you're looking for a specific book for, you know, a very specific kind of behavior that your toddler is using, please make sure you check that video. It will be linked in the description box below and somewhere over here on the screen. But this is one of our favorite ones. My toddler really loves that one because, once again, it's a monkey, a little monkey whose ice cream fell on the floor, and so he's very upset about it, and it's all the ways that he uses to calm himself down and to regulate his emotions. So lovely little story, and my toddler loves it, so I highly recommend this one. Another one that we really love and that is great even for slightly older children is How to Accept No. I love this book. Actually, I love this book for my toddler and for me. My toddler really enjoys reading this book, but I find that it also has some tips for me through the story, because in this story it's a little boy, you know, you follow him during the day, and at different moments in the day he goes through different moments of frustration or anger or sadness or disappointment, things that children go through on a regular basis, like having to wait a long time in the queue at the supermarket and feeling frustrated, or going to a playgroup and finding another child playing with his favorite toy. So these are situations that your child will have experienced and will be able to relate to, and you know, in each one of these situations the parent suggests different ways to cope with the big emotions and help the child to deal with that situation. And so again, it shows loads of different very positive coping mechanism, but what I also really like about this book is that because it's a dialogue, unlike the other books, this one is a dialogue between the parents and the child, and so you as a parent get to see ways that you can formulate responses to your child's behavior. So how you can talk to them when they're throwing a tantrum, when they're having these big emotions, how you can phrase your thoughts in a way that would be best for them and that can be best accepted by them. So I highly recommend this book. It's a great book. I know that this author, Michael Gordon, he's written loads of other books about regulating emotions. This is the only one that we have, and I love it. The next book that I want to show you is called You Are a Lion by, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be mispronouncing it, Batayun Yu. I love this book, it's so sweet. It's a book that shows different yoga poses, and what I love about it is that it's super accessible for a preschooler, because a lot of the books, or you know, there's yoga picture cards that you can find on Amazon, and they're all great, but they're great for slightly older kids a lot of the time. And for a very young child, like a 3 years old, you want to be able to explain to them how to do the yoga poses in a way that is super simple. And this book is great for that, because it shows each yoga poses by, you know, with very simple instructions that a child can easily understand, and then gets them to play a little bit by acting out like they are the animal that the yoga poses represent. So it's really fun. My toddler really loves it, and because yoga, I find, is a really good way of dealing with strong emotions. If this is something that you think your child might enjoy, I recommend this book. And the last book that I want to show you is slightly different from all of the other ones, but I find that a lot of the time when my 3.5 years old goes through these intense emotions, a lot of the time it's because of sharing. Sharing is something that is a little bit difficult for her, as it is for many children this age, I believe. And especially because she has a younger sibling, this is something that we've been struggling a lot with recently. And so I found that a book that we have really loved recently is Little Lion Shares. Again, it's by Michael Dahl. As I mentioned, he's great with children's book about specific behavior, so this is one of them. And this is a sweet little story about a little lion who's learning to share and to, you know, be able to manage their emotion while somebody else is playing with their toys. So I've been finding this very helpful with my toddler, and she's really enjoyed that little story as well. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.